Hey friends, today I wanted to talk to you guys about what a grounding object is. I know it's really hard for us right now to stay grounded, especially with everything that's going on around the world, but a lot of people that follow me actually have trauma, especially childhood trauma, and I think pretty much everybody does have childhood trauma. It's not really what people think it is, but I wanted to give you a little idea of how you can ground yourself when you're feeling triggered. And grounding yourself means that, bringing yourself back into the present when you're being triggered by something that happened in the past. And so, a lot of good grounding things that you can do is like breathe, because a lot of us don't breathe when we get triggered. We hold our breath, so that's very helpful. Take deep breaths. But something that really helps me is grounding. And grounding is known, a lot of people know grounding as like taking your socks off and, stepping in the grass or touching nature. I don't know. It's, walking in the sand, going in the ocean, hugging a tree, gardening and all kinds of things. But I really like, sometimes you can't do that. And what works really well for me is having grounding objects. A specific grounding object is really cool, but there's so many you can have. People have like different ones. It's something you can put in your pocket. So like something like this, to remind you to have courage when, you feel insecure or scared, or I have a peace one because I have anxiety a lot. And I like to keep this one in my pocket. Or you can have things like this. This is a sunstone. And it brings you back to higher consciousness. It's good for leadership and takes away anxiety, and you can hold it in moments where you're going through difficult conversations or stuff like that. But my favorite one is actually this ring that I have around my neck. And so this ring actually has so much meaning to me. It's my most precious possession, materialistic possession. And so the story behind it is that I had a cousin who was raised pretty much with me, who we always called each other siblings. So he was like my little brother. And, we were together most of our lives. And when I was 12, his mother moved to Georgia, Savannah in the States. And it was really difficult for me and him. And so difficult that my parents decided that they had to send me there, and I lived there for a while, but it didn't work out and I had to come back. And so I left him this ring that I wore all the time. And, he was really sad. It was really difficult with his mother. And so he felt less alone with the ring, and he wore the ring up until he was 24. When he died of a car accident, and he never took the ring off and was always proud to say that he had me with him at all times. And unfortunately, he passed away, drinking, driving, fell asleep. And so they took the ring and sent it back to me. And when the pandemic hit, I was really having a hard time grounding myself, still do actually, because how do you ground yourself when you don't feel safe? Because the whole point of healing is feeling safe. That's when you can really start your healing, and very difficult to feel safe right now, especially after speaking out and having death threats. And, you walk outside, you never know what's going to happen. Some people don't like me that much at this point. So, it's really hard for me to feel safe. And someone reminded me like, hey, didn't you have a ring that made you feel safe? And so I was like, yeah. And I didn't wear it anymore because I had gained weight, and I took it back out and it fit, so I was wearing it, and I always wear it. And for me, it reminds me, because it's really hard for me, the work that I'm doing sometimes, and I'm reminded that he was supposed to be with me when we were kids. We were going to be humanitarians, and we were going to save the world. We literally, that's the games we played. I can remember bringing bananas to homeless people and stuff like that. And when the pandemic hit and I spoke out and I started doing this work, it was really sad for me that he wasn't there with me. And it was I had to start grieving that again. And so having his ring with me reminds me that, you know, maybe he is with me at all times. I make him live within me and be with me. But it also reminds me that, you know, my biggest fear right now is that, you know, if someone kills me, that what's going to happen to my girls in this pandemic and with this agenda that's coming on. And, you know, I'm really scared that I know that these elite people, they know that the best way to get to me is through my children. So I'm really scared of what would happen to them if something happened to me. I think I wouldn't be as concerned about myself. It's all about them and their future. And this reminds me that he passed away and he had a daughter. And I look at her and now she has a son, and she kept moving on and her journey continued. And it reminds me that my kids have their own journey too, and their own path to live, and that no matter what happens to me, everything will be okay. So this is my grounding tool. You know, I hold it tight when I don't feel good, and it brings me back to the now. But I suggest that you find something really precious to you. It could also be like, I love walking on the beach and collecting shells. So maybe if you like the beach, maybe you can have a special shell that you carry around. Or maybe you can have some of these rocks to remind you, you know, hey, have courage, or hey, peace, you know, and hold it and really believe in it. But I thought I'd share that because it might be helpful for us who are going through a lot of anxiety right now. And it's all part of what I do, right? Because I don't know if you guys know, but I'm actually doing my West tour with Lighting Up Dark Corners, which is my organization to empower you to heal and rise. And I'm doing my free workshop, Healing from Childhood Trauma 101. And to help people, and it's a preview to my 10-week program. And so I think it's important to help people in all kinds of ways that we can. So this is how I do it. And if you're interested in any more and all my stuff, you can follow me at lightingupdarkcorners.com, subscribe, so you can get updates. And let me know what you think. Do you have a grounding tool? What do you do to ground yourself? I'd really love to know. Please share it with me. And I hope you all are able to find peace in this crazy world that we live in. Love you guys. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.